Hello, everybody. My name is Ryunn Eldred, and I'd like to welcome you to the Nerdgazmic podcast. I am here with my co-host, WhiskeyNBri, as we bring you guys another wonderful episode that you can either listen to on all your podcast streaming devices or catch the vidcast version over on the Nerdgazmic Goodfellas YouTube channel, all of which have links that you can find in your description down below. Before we kick off this wonderful episode, Whiskey, how have you been,
yes,
man?
Sir.
It's been a couple of weeks since we've done an episode. How have you been?
Been busy. Pretty much best way to summarize it. Been busy. Trying to figure my schedule out, as you could tell. But I think we got it to where I think we got a schedule lined up that'll work for us.
Hopefully, so that way we're not taking long hiatuses.
Yeah, we don't want to be doing that too much. Oh,
No.
shit. I've been doing good though. I played a new game called Idols of Ash.
I've seen the first episode of.
I've been shouting it to the streets like, this game needs to be known about. This game is freaking awesome. It's the grappling mechanic is so satisfying. It's like White Knuckle, or anybody out there.
I've seen White Knuckle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like White Knuckle in reverse, and it has a grappling mechanic that I think would be phenomenal in a first-person Spider-Man game, even just an indie game, or just, I don't know, I feel an Indiana Jones game would be awesome with it too. Just like a little pixelated indie Indiana Jones game.
Side-scroller. Little, not side-scroller, because obviously the grapple wouldn't work as well as the side-scroller.
It'd probably work in a side-scroller, but it's fun. Other than that, just been living life, trying to get videos done when I can. How about you, man?
I am all right. I've had this entire week off of work because it's been known as Easter break or spring break.
Hell yeah.
I've gotten a lot done. I've been playing the ever-living crap out of a game made by Square Enix and Don't Nod Entertainment called Life is Strange, and I have been blowing through that game the last couple of days. I'm on the final chapter of it as of recording this. So when this goes out on Wednesday, I would have already beaten the game, and I'm on to Captain Spirit, which is the next game in the series.
Dope.
And outside of that, I've been watching a lot of video game adaptations. They have a few on Hulu now, like Monster Hunter. I watched just recently, because I've been kind of preparing myself for Zach Krager's Resident Evil that comes out in September, and following the just massive hype of Resident Evil after beating Requiem like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I've been watching the Paul W.S. Anderson, Mila Jovovich Resident Evils, like the OG movies.
Hell yeah, those are so good.
And they just recently added Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City on Hulu. And I was like, oh, I only seen this movie once, and I saw it in theaters, and I remember being so excited seeing the movie in theaters that when I watched it the second time over, I was more angry and pissed off watching it.
Really?
Yeah, so my first view and my second view have totally different perspectives. On one hand, I praise the movie for its set pieces, costume design, and the CGI or practical effects used on a lot of the BOWs and stuff. Like, a lot of set pieces from the Raccoon City itself looks like it was ripped right out of the game, like the orphanage, the police department, and other aspects. The Spencer Mansion especially, because Welcome to Raccoon City adapts 1, 2, and 3, all in one movie, but does it so out of order. And I don't know, the casting for the movie was like, I like a few of the actors that's in it. It had, God, he plays as a villain in everything. Give me a second to look up the cast. But it had me thinking about an old Drinking Corner, like, podcast episode. Give me one sec. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City cast.
Resident Evil Welcome
No, I don't want you talking to me. Tom Hopper. He played the... Have you seen Umbrella Academy?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Fuck, that's like the only thing I know him from. They have some dude that plays Wesker, and they make Wesker like a really big bro in the movie. And he's like friends with Chris and everybody. Robbie Amell, the guy who played Arrow in the Arrowverse, Stephen Amell.
Right.
Robbie is his brother, and he played Chris, which I think was really good casting. Neil McDonough, he plays a villain in a lot of things. Played William Birkin, was like the main antagonist. They had Donald Logue, who played Chief Irons, who plays in a lot of good TV shows like Gotham. They had a lot of good actors in the movie. It's just everybody's character was so weirdly casted. They made Leon like a completely sniveling bitch all the way up until the end. Like he's just an airhead and just not Leon.
Yeah, brah.
It's just Jill was like extremely aggressive and had like a huge crush on Wesker and was like panning after Wesker the whole movie. Yeah, it was really weird. The story was really hard to follow, and it just I don't know. Like I enjoyed the movie for the set pieces, the BOWs, and some of the zombies. That has like really cool action sequences. It was made by the person who made the Stranger movies. So it had good like elements of horror or suspense. But it led me thinking, and I was thinking back to a previous Drinking Corner episode where we all pitched a video game adaptation. And I was thinking back to it, and I was like, I would love nothing more to pitch a Resident Evil TV series adaptation, because I feel like with video game adaptations, doing them as a movie is no longer really working, because you're trying to cram so much stuff into a small little project.
Yeah, it seems like the way to do that is TV shows. TV shows really the best way to do it.
I think if you're gonna do a movie, don't follow the games directly. Like, don't include game characters. What I like about Robert Krager's Resident Evil movie that comes out this September is it's following a postal delivery person who gets stuck in the outbreak.
Amazon driver in Raccoon City. That's awesome.
Pretty much. That's essentially the premise. I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know 100% the details or anything. It's all just drip fed, and we'll know more when it comes out in September. But I wanted to pitch to you, if you were Amazon or HBO Max, because those would be the two streaming services I think would handle it really well. I wanted to pitch you a Resident Evil show and see if you'd like it.
All right.
So
throw it to me. Hold on, get my executive.
Oh yeah, get your executive mindset.
Go.
Season 1 would cover the game events of 0 and 1, detailing the Spencer Mansion incident with STAR's Bravo and Alpha teams. The episodes would flip from current time, taking place in August of 1998 through September 28th, with surviving STARS members being investigated by a reporter and the Raccoon City Police Department Chief Brian Irons. Through the current time segments, it would explore the disbandment of STARS and Chief Irons' downplay of events due to Umbrella's involvement over the first 4 episodes. Rebecca's flashbacks would take place over the first 4 episodes, detailing the July 23rd, 1998 facility incident, detailing the events of her and Billy Cohen's exploration of the Umbrella training facility and the Umbrella director James Marcus. The final 4 episodes would see Chris Redfield being interviewed for the 4th and 5th episodes, seeing him assault an officer and leaving Raccoon City as Irons disbands stars. At this point, the final 2 episodes would focus on Jill Valentine telling the rest of the story to the reporter in her apartment, as incidents resembling the cannibal attacks from the Arklay Mountains begin to spread within the city. The season finale would set up for a season 2, with Jill giving her report to Ben Bertoccioli, the reporter who reveals he was investigating Umbrella and Chief Irons. Jill would have a nightmare that awakens her on September 28th to a call from Brad Vickers, telling her to leave her apartment. Something is hunting down former Stars members. As the screen fades to black, all you hear is Nemesis yelling, "Stars." I have it written as a 8-episode season. Episodes 1 through 4 told by Rebecca Chambers. Episodes 5 and 6 would flip between Chris and Jill's perspectives. Episodes 6 and 7 Rebecca would cover Chris's part on the Lisa Trevor fight, as Chris would have left Raccoon City at this time. Barry would also report on Jill's testimony during a section that she was unconscious for. Episode 8 would be entirely Jill within her apartment. And then I have the rest of this detailing each episode, but that's not really important because it just breaks down what section each episode would focus on from the game and what would be happening in the present time during the interviews. Because the interviews in the game is something that is very glossed over. There's a note that details that as soon as they got back from the Spencer estate, they were kind of interrogated, and the chief, who is a main character in the second game, disbanded and kind of put on probation all of the Stars members after they left because he was being paid by Umbrella to keep them quiet. So Chris stages a fight, leaves Raccoon City to go investigate Umbrella. And Jill was going to leave, but the outbreak happened, and that's where the third game starts. But I think it would be interesting for the show to primarily take place like in Raccoon City Police Department, with the entire events of the games being told through flashbacks. So it's focusing on the interrogation scenes itself with Chief Irons and Ben, who is hired to help with the kind of interviews and interrogation of it all.
And then it'd be really cool because then it's solely from their perspective of the event going on. That's pretty dope. I like that. You got me. You're sold. We'll give you 2 seasons right now, and only stipulation is that we need to get Chris Pratt to play Chris Redfield, and we need Zendaya to play Jill Valentine.
Why?
And
Why?
Tom Holland plays Leon Kennedy.
Why? I could agree to maybe one of those. I'll let you decide.
It's Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood, baby. That's how we're
going to get
tickets,
Rock
buddy.
Johnson plays Leon Kennedy.
We get Batista to play Wesker, and
Kevin Hart will be Jill Valentine.
Motherfucker! Fucking zombies everywhere, man!
But yeah, no, I would love... Because, I don't know, I've had this conversation with David, too, where it's like, do you really want to see a retelling of the video game that you played? Or would you rather see an original story that takes place in the world that you know?
An original story. Every single time. Because the problem with...
I've had this is the same thing with you on Halo, though. Because I love the TV show for Halo. I love it. Because it's its own original story that just takes place in the world.
It is. I just don't like the way they wrote John in the show. He just doesn't feel like Master Chief to me.
Season 2 redeems it so much, though. Because
like the action sequences in Halo is really good, but it's seriously just every time that it's a scene where Chief is, getting a moment, I'm just like, it just doesn't feel right to me.
I think season 2 handles it in a better way because for the majority of season 2, he's out of his armor. and you get a chance to kind of see the more human side of Chief, which you don't get to see if you're like only a fan of the games. If you're a fan of the games and you've only played the games, you never get to really see the human side of Chief. You get glimpses, but you don't get to live in that perspective.
Yeah, they're very minor moments, like when it's more of like an interpretation and through context mostly. And you do have to play through the games multiple times to notice the moments where Chief does show some humanity. But it's when, I don't know, it's
don't get me wrong.
I don't like to.
There were parts of the show where I just kind of didn't agree with, and I was just kind of like, eh.
Ain't it weird though that, you know, Spartans are supposed to be like 2 feet taller than average humans, and somehow his Spartan buddy's married to some chick that's as tall as they are. It's like, and their kid is like I don't know. The perspective was a little weird in that moment, and I was like, watching it like, did they not try to get the perspective right on this? Why are the kids like normal kid height to these Spartans?
I think when you are adapting something like that to the big screen, a lot of it comes down to kind of in the same way where I feel like I hate when they racial or gender swap characters that are made in one way. And this isn't saying anything negative about it. I, for one, like, I will go on that side and say I love Lance Reddick as Wesker, in which they completely
be careful, buddy.
It's not something I need to be careful with. I'm not saying anything in a negative bit. I'm just saying when you have a source material, it's good to stick to the source material. But I understand why people deviate. Sometimes you can't find an actor that's going to, you know, portray the way they want to, or if you're going to digitally extend limbs to make someone seem taller, or the practical sets of having to have people stand at different focal lengths so that way one appears taller than the other person, it could be a hassle. And then it becomes more trouble than what it's worth. Because what you should be focusing more overall is the story.
You should be, but as a fan, it's when you get those minor details, it does.
I absolutely agree.
Like in the scene in the first season when Chief goes to the asteroid planet or whatever and runs into his buddy, that ran away from the Spartan program,
and they're all dapping up.
He meets his family. Yeah, he meets his whole family and everything, and like, there's the height perspective or the height ratio is so off there. I don't even remember anything that goes on in that scene, because the whole time I was sitting there like, okay, so they like genetically modified children, or is it like his wife just a freak? What's going on here? Is his wife just naturally 7 foot tall?
Or she could have been a Spartan that like her backstory just wasn't delved into.
But when it's not delved into like that, then you're like,
I still wish Halo would have gotten a season 3.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see more with the Flood.
Because not gonna lie,
I think the flood in season 2 was absolutely one of my favorite parts of it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far. That's pretty cool. So,
it genuinely made my skin crawl in some of the scenes.
Wait a second.
I was talking to my brother Brian about how, because he had questions about the TV show too, and was talking to me about it, and I was like, you know, love or hate the TV show, I will say when they finally introduced the Flood, I went back to that like 2001 version of myself where I found the Flood for the first time in the game and felt that same level of just kind of fear and excitement as I did as a kid. And they encapsulated that perfectly with the show.
Okay, so my question here is it Chief that's encountering the Flood here?
Everyone.
Okay, and my next question is, the show takes place before the games, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think season 2 ends with 343 Guilty Spark, around in that area. I know it's
because that's my thing, is if he's encountering the Flood in the show.
It's not the games. the TV series and the games are a completely separate timeline.
No, exactly. It's a
The
different
games have
timeline, but
nothing to do with the TV show, if you want to be
no,
honest.
exactly. But my thing is, if it's like he's encountering the flood before he does in the first game, but the first game he encounters the flood for the first time, it's like, okay, well, that's a little bit of a continuity error there.
Well, again, is there really a continuity error when it's your own timeline? Because
Yes.
you're not following a source material. You're using resources from another property.
Okay, so then it's just not canon to the games. Then.
No, the TV show is not canon to the games.
Okay, so it's not Master Chief from the games. That's it then. Okay, if you look at
it's Master Chief, but not from the games. It's its own story using these characters.
Okay, if I could sit there and look at it like this is not my Master Chief, then okay, I could probably sit there and watch it and enjoy it.
Then do that, motherfucker.
Okay. Well, that's the thing though. Okay, so here's the thing. If like
you're
said,
looking, that's...
no. Here, let me make my point.
No.
Let me make my point. Okay, when I'm a fan of an IP, and they're making a show or an adaptation that's supposed to be based off of that IP, I want it to be
that IP.
I want it to synchronize to what I already know. So when you take something and now it's on a different timeline, okay, well then why does it matter? It's not. I mean, at that point, in my
the
opinion,
journey.
as a fan,
As a fan, my interpretation of it, because you're literally bringing up the same thing I was bringing up towards Resident Evil, but defending for Halo.
Because like, okay, so if it's a different timeline, then at the end of the show, someone could put a fucking magnum right up to Chief's head and kill him, and then it's still canon because it's not the same timeline. That's my issue with it.
I would say there's not a canonness to it if you're looking at it in that aspect. You got to look at it as... I'm trying to think of another thing I could use as an example for this. Like the animated Mario Brother movies. Those aren't canon to the games whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you classify that as? Because they're not canon. Nothing that happens in the Super Mario or the new Mario movie would be canon to the games. It's just an adaptation.
It's a retelling of the story, but has there really been a story with Mario? Not really. It's really the only story.
The other Super Mario.
What are you talking about? The 1990s Mario. Movie with the live action one?
Yeah, with John Luis Amato.
Yeah. Fucking Bowser's
Mario has stuff that you could base a story around, premises and everything. It's just,
and it's all context clues, and it's all...
You gotta look at the other Halo show as just the story. And yeah, I know that's calling the kettle whatever with saying it, because I know I'm doing the same exact... Well, I'm trying to think of a way to tiptoe around the whole Resident Evil topic, because what's going on right now is I just did my rant for Resident Evil, and you're doing the same exact rant for Halo. And yeah. I'm noticing that correlation. And I'm defending Halo, but refuse to defend Resident Evil. Because god damn it, I want something cohesive.
Here's the point. Here's the thing, though, is you're as big of a fan of Resident Evil as a big a fan I am for Halo.
Yeah.
So that's do you see my point with
I do see your point, and that's why I'm not trying to like butt heads with you on it. I'm saying more or less like, wait, you could have, look at it this way. You have two slices of cake. Mm-hmm. You have Halo the game, Halo the TV series. Two separate pieces of cake. You can have both pieces of cake and be happy with things from each.
The problem is someone slipped a used condom in the side for the show, and I saw it, and now I can't get that out of my fucking head when I'm eating it.
Well, somebody slipped a used condom in your food, and you're still trying to eat it. There's a different issue going.
You know what? I get like a quarter of the way done. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I ate around the condom part, and I'm like,
a little bit of the pre came out, but we're good.
It's like, okay, I'm not saying the show is bad in general. I'm just saying
in terms of
for me as
game.
Well, okay, so here's the point I was gonna make is when you have a medium, like here's the same thing with people that read the Harry Potter books and they made the movies. This is the same point. I'm not going on a tangent. The people that love the books, they say the movies are not great because they don't include everything that's in the source material. Well, here's the problem: when you already have your original idea from what you've experienced, and they do an adaptation into something else, your expectation is already so high that it's really hard for them to meet it. And if they don't meet what you're expecting them to do, even if it's at all, you're not going to enjoy it 100%. You might like some things here and there, but if they don't include things or if they do change things, then you're already like writing it off, like, get it out of here. People did that, I think, with the Twilight movies. No, actually, never mind. There were the girls that were into the Twilight books were so thirsty. They loved anything with Twilight. But,
Except the actors. The actors fucking hated it.
dude, yeah, Robert Pattinson hated Twilight. I'm trying to think of another one. It's one thing like okay, so here it goes. It goes from books to games and then games to movies. Pretty much movies is at the end of the spectrum here. If you enjoy a movie and they make a book out of it, that you're not going to have a problem there. I heard someone make a great argument. Like the Halo book, like any game books are all phenomenal. I haven't read a single book that's based off of a game series that's awesome. Same thing with Star Wars. There's so many great Star Wars books out there,
Yeah.
but if you take a book or a game and you make it into a visual adaptation, it's usually
I feel
kind
like
of
that's where it gets...
very hard to get it right.
Well, that's why I feel like animated adaptations are so much better. Like, I've been watching Devil May Cry on Netflix. I'm excited for season 2. Oh my god, am I talking like brick? So good. But then you can't really say that because Fallout is phenomenal.
That's
And
an exception, okay?
it continues the lore of the games. Witcher is phenomenal. The first two seasons.
I got bored season 3. I will tell you that. I love The Witcher, but I got bored season 3.
When everything started happening with season 3, and then Henry Cavill being replaced.
But that's the thing is season 3 was when they really started changing source material, and that's why Henry left.
Yeah.
That's the thing is if you deviate too far from the source material, that's usually what happens.
People want to leave, which also makes me really excited about Henry Cavill leading the Warhammer.
Yes,
project.
I'm so hyped for that, and it's on Amazon. Which, if this is good, then I'm gonna trust anything Amazon has to do with gaming IPs. They can have it.
Don't get me wrong. We're going to get bad stuff. Like you can't just solely look at Amazon and be like, you fucking killed with Fallout. You're gonna kill with this. Everything you've thrown out is a banger that I like by you. There's gonna be some director that's going to make a fumble. The whole Robert Krager Resident Evil thing that I'm going back to and like saying that I'm hyping myself up for it by watching the Paul W.S. Anders like 7 films, the Welcome to Raccoon City film. I am putting myself in that perspective of not having such a high expectation because I love Barbarian, I love Weapons, and I love The Whitest Kids You Know, which are all things Robert Krager was associated with. Doesn't mean I'm going to love Resident Evil, and it could be for the same exact reasons. As of what we know right now, I don't believe any game characters are coming in. He has never watched a single one of the movies. He is a fan of the games, and he wants to deliver the original, very claustrophobic feel of like the OG fixed screen games.
Okay, so here's my point to add on to that. That's the difference, though. You made what I was gonna say. There's a difference between people that are making the adaptation, if they have passion for the IP, or if they don't, if they just have the passion for the money.
Well, Fallout, I mean, Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich had passion for the games and were playing the games alongside making the movies.
Same thing with Fallout. They played the games too. Well, I don't think all of them did, but same thing with the new God of War, or not God of War. Oh no, not the God of War. uh, Warhammer. Warhammer. Having Henry Cavill a part of it, that man has so much passion for Warhammer that he is halting process until they get it right.
But that also leads to Amazon's God of War live action
Yeah.
series.
Well, and then
And
who knows who has the passion
everybody,
there?
well, I mean, the fact that Ryan Hurst, who voiced Thor in Ragnarok, and other people are coming back to potentially play other characters and or the same characters. Or
The,
even if you
the
look at it
only
with Last of Us with HBO, HBO followed the games but added a lot of stuff in, some of which was really good. Season 1, that episode with Bill where it just focused solely on Bill and gave Bill more of a backstory, was one of my favorite parts of season 1. And it had nothing to do with the games. And it was just because it
oh,
was a
that's
very beautiful story.
excuse me. No, that's fine. I never actually got to finish watching that show. I also liked how they actually did a really good change in that show of changing how the cordyceps work. Instead of there being the spores in the air, they communicate through the spores being on the
Oh,
ground, and if you touch it, it's like a spider web and it
my
attracts
my
all of the infected.
my
That shit's
poor
actually a
baby
really cool
boy.
change.
My poor baby boy. You know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. You didn't finish the show. That's all I
I
gotta
didn't.
say on that. You have not finished the show yet, so
I
you're
just don't like Bella Ramsey. I couldn't do it because of her.
I honestly I was down for it.
Okay, she was okay for a young Ellie, but knowing that she was gonna go into season 2, I'm like, I can't
It's
follow her.
not that bad. I feel like it's the whole social media hype train.
No, I had
Like
that feeling before it became a meme. I saw her as Ellie, and I was immediately like, really though? There's so many other actresses that would have looked and probably done
yes,
better.
but it's not about the look per
It
se.
it's not
Y-
about the look, but that's the same thing with okay. Here's
It's
the
the
same
same
thing
thing.
with the whole racial swap.
I'm
Here's the
counteracting
same
my own argument
here's
again.
the
God
same
damn
thing
it.
same thing with racial swaps. If the I like my characters to look at least somewhat not like a toad.
What does that mean?
She looks like an aquatic animal. She looks like something that would skip across the pond.
Now
What we
you're
got?
just
Oh,
being hateful, man. Now you're
yeah,
just being hateful.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
All
excited for
right,
season 3 though. I want to
so
see
if they did,
Caitlin Denver's continue playing Abby.
let me see if they did a live action adaptation of, hmm, okay, of Gears of War, and they got like Shia LaBeouf to play Marcus Phoenix. Would you be okay with that? He's a good actor.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Hell no. Dave Batista 100% needs to play Marcus Phoenix.
Exactly, and I feel like there was one actress, I don't remember her name. She played the daughter in that Alan fuck Buzz Lightyear. Alan
Oh, Tim Allen?
Tim Allen. He plays her daughter in that one super conservative show.
Oh, Kat Dennings.
Yeah, she looks so much like Ellie. She's a really good actress. She's been in a few other things. I feel like she would have been a really great choice for Ellie. No,
Kat
not Kat
Dennings.
Dennings. Not Kat Dennings. No.
I was
That's the
sitting
big
there.
that's the
Oh,
big tit chicks from Two Broke Girls.
that's why I was sitting there.
No.
I was like, Kat Dennings.
No, wait. Hold on.
I was like, you need to play Last of Us without the mods on, Brian.
No. No, she needed to play season 2 Ellie. No, let me look her up. Last Man Standing, I think is what the show's called. Last Man Standing.
yeah, I've never seen Last Man Standing. Guess I'll do some.
Caitlin Dever. Look up Caitlin Dever.
Yeah, that's who plays Abby.
Yeah, she should have played Ellie. She looks more like an Ellie than Abby. Yeah.
I'm
And is she juiced up in season 2 for Abby?
no,
Okay. Well, okay. So her, we
but
needed her, the girl that plays
she
Abby, to go
does
against Ronda
such a good
Rousey.
Abby though.
We need a Ronda
You
Rousey.
can't say shit until you see season 2.
I know I can't say shit,
I
but
refuse to have this conversation with you until you see season 2. Because she did a phenomenal job as Abby. It didn't matter if she was yoked to all hell like the video game counterpart.
okay. I'll rescind my point for that, but I do believe that she probably would have played a better Ellie.
I think the casting where it's at right now is good. I want to see season 3 and have my judgment made after seeing season 3. Because what you do see of Miss Denver in season 2 isn't a lot. It's enough to keep it going because season 2 ends at the game flop moment of the actual video game, or the point of view flop moment of the game. But
And I'll tell you, I don't know the reason I had an issue with Bella Ramsey was I felt like, in my opinion, I feel like she tried too hard. As it like when you had that first episode with her as Ellie, she was trying so hard to just be a little cunt
yeah,
to
so was
Joel, and
Ellie in the game.
not that bad. Not that bad. Not no, 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 not that bad. She was
Ellie
literally
was
just
a
cussing them out, and
little.
she was like, "You're fuck you guys. You guys fucking suck." Like every scene she was in, and I'm like, she
I
was
think you
not
need to
that
go
bad.
back through and play the games.
She would no, she would talk back. She would be a little sassy, but she was not literally like aggressively just
Well,
resistant to everything they did.
did you want her to just follow behind fucking Joel and not really do anything like she does in the games and just make one-liners and crack jokes like she did in the games? No, you got to
Yeah.
have her interacting with the world and interacting with the world around her.
Okay,
In the games,
make her more curious than bitchy. That's my
well,
opinion.
her in all the way up to the point where Tessa dies, she is bitchy.
Hmm.
She's mad at Joel. And then even later on in the first game, she gets infuriated with Joel because Joel tries to do the one thing he promised he wouldn't do, which was ditch her off onto somebody else when he tried to ditch her off on Tommy. Ellie is a character that is made from betrayal. She doesn't trust people. Her attitude is her defense mechanism against that. And it
Yeah, but
shows
it's
that in the show.
in
Whereas
the
you
game.
don't really see that in the game because you don't really interact with her. She runs and hides.
Well, there are those moments when you get the hidden dialogue moments to where when they're looking over like a city or something and they kind of have like a little chit chat moment before they really get close. They do have those moments in the game. But my thing is in the game the Ellie bitchiness is a little more realistic in the way it's portrayed. I feel like with Bella Ramsey's portrayal, it was very
You just
just
don't like Bella Ramsey, motherfucker. Shut up.
no, I just don't like. Okay, I loved her in Game of Thrones. Her as the little kid, I literally just felt like she took that same character of her being the tough little kid and just moved it to. It was the same exact thing. It felt just. It was too much. It was too much. If maybe she dialed it back a little bit and was just like
Well,
not. I'm
you
not saying she
haven't
needed to be
finished the
nice.
fucking show,
I'm not
so
saying
you
she needed to
don't
be
know
like,
if she dials
yes,
it
sir.
back at all.
Yes, sir. But okay, I'm sure by the end of the season it's a little bit better, but it was because of how much it was just so every line that came out of her was just too much in my opinion.
I don't know, Brian. My definitive opinion on this is you're just a hater. Halo, The Last of Us. You don't
I'm
even
not a
finish.
hater.
You don't that listen, let me finish. You don't even finish the shows and you have your opinion formatted.
Okay, I shouldn't have to go halfway through the season before I start liking it.
Okay, that's fair too.
That's
That
my
is a
that's
fair
my
that's a fair thing. But it's
that's the whole
just
One
like
Piece
cake.
argument of, hey dude,
Just like
600 episodes in, it finally starts getting good.
but come on, man, episode
Which I'm not, hey,
605.
I'm not
That's
hating
the
on you
best.
if you like it. I'm just saying this is why I just couldn't get through it. It
No,
was too
I see it. I can see your viewpoint. And again,
well,
like Last of Us, it isn't for everybody because I've had a lot of conversations. You're not alone especially in the Nerdgasmic Goodfellas, of the Bella Ramsey hate for Ellie. Like, multiple people in the group feel your way on that. I don't. I think she did a great job, and I
And I've
think
talked to people
that
that
she does wonderful with Pedro Pascal, which is what I was looking at moreover than the solo character. I wanted to see how Ellie and Joel would connect in live action. And I think her and Pedro Pascal had a wonderful father surrogate daughter relationship.
I do think it is a little weird that they did
Which, oh
change
my
the
god, episode 1 of season 2. Oh my god, dude, that shit, I fucking ugly girl cried. I ugly girl cried in front of everybody watching that. And 100% of it is because of Ellie, because of Bella Ramsey in that episode. Bella Ramsey, the actor that plays Tommy, just everything. Even Denver's is Abby, and like that whole scene, just literally feeling the gut, because they don't do it the same way they do in the game. It's a little bit different, and it is still like almost vomit inducing, gut wrenching of watching it play out. And then literally seeing that rage you're kind of complaining about from season 1 come out, because the episode that follows Joel's death isn't them immediately leaving to get revenge. You get to see Ellie right afterwards. You get to see what time skip the game did, but not having that time skip. You get to see her dealing with the loss, the hurt, the pain, just everything that really just made me like her as Ellie in that next episode. So I would say I would love to have this conversation with you again after you watch it. Yes, later on in the season, there is going to be a scene that you're going to see and you're going to just be like, why is she Ellie? Because we all did simultaneously as a community. We all just went, I'm the dad now. But
I wonder if it's the same thing I'm thinking, and I feel like she is not very threatening as a person, Bella Ramsey. So compared to how Ellie is in the second game, Ellie is
I
terrifying in the second game. She
I
like
feel
if
like
I
that's
guarantee if I was gonna
easier.
fight Ellie, I'm if I ran into Ellie in an alley, I'm like, oh, she's gonna peg me. I'm
I
done.
feel like that's easier to convey in animation or in a game setting than it is to do with live action actors. Because with a game, you can have everything simulated from the voice, the rage, and all that, but the movement, the no hesitation in killing something is something that is easier to mimic with computer graphics than it is to mimic with a natural human response. Because just imagine how corny it would look if Bella Ramsey was doing the shit that Ellie was doing in game.
That's my point.
You would be watching it just like, this is the corniest fucking shit I've ever seen.
That's my point, Tim.
What's your point? It would be corny with no matter what actor you chose to do it.
No, because if we just need a female John Wick. We need a female John Wick. We need okay. I'm trying to think of a female actress that played a badass.
If it's
Mm,
taking you this long to think of a female actor that plays a
no,
badass, you have other issues on your
no,
like
I was
plate here.
thinking
Come
Ana
on,
de
three,
Armas and
three,
Ballerina.
two. Oh,
Ana de
name
Armas
another
and
one. Name
Ballerina.
another one. Three, two,
Okay, you're
one.
putting me on the
Three.
spot.
Okay,
Okay, it's
nope,
not gonna
nope,
happen.
you failed.
It's not gonna.
You
You
are
put me on the
sexist.
spot. No, hold on. You put
You
me
are
on the
not
spot.
here for the
You put me on the fucking spot. Scarlett Johansson,
got too late.
Black Widow. No,
You already failed.
no. I'm
You
trying to
already
think of someone.
failed.
I'm trying to think of someone off the top of my head that would play a good Ellie.
So you
That
think
would.
Scarlett Johansson would play a good Ellie, huh? Off the top of your Oh god, we went so far off the rails.
No, we're on the same
I'm
topic. We're
having
just not
so
talking
much
about
fun with this.
we're just not talking about Resident Evil anymore. But we're still talking about the same topic of adaptations if they're going to be true to what we would want. Uh,
I think definitively that if you're gonna go in and adapt the game, then adapt the game and make it as close to the source material as you can. Like if I were to do Resident Evil, I would want Jill to be a French Asian actress. I would want Chris to be kind of that clean cut military cliche looking person. I'd want Wesker to be the like I wear like shades indoors at night.
I wear
Looking,
sunglasses at night.
yeah. I would want Leon to be like in the very first time seeing him, the timid blonde haired little boy scout that just becomes the rough Leon we know later on. I'd want everything to stay as close to source material as possible. But if I were to be doing like what Robert uh, Greger is doing and making something that exists in the world, have fun with the world. Or if you're going to take characters from like I don't want to say from let's say of another source material because that just contradicts what I already said. But let it be known if it's going to be following pre-established lore or it's its own story, its own narrative. Because, like, again, with Welcome to Raccoon City, I would have been so much more okay with the movie if it wasn't trying to adapt all the games. If it did, like, the little Easter eggs of, like, hey, there's this location, hey, there's this, instead of it trying to be beat for beat Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 all in the same movie, combining all the game plots into one plot, but then doing it all out of order, it was just and then the just character assassination of certain people. If you're going to
I
adapt
get
a
it.
character, even if you're going to racially swap, gender swap, whatever type of changes you're going to do, make the character stay true to whom the character is in its focal point. Because just like with the Netflix TV show Resident Evil, Lance Reddick did a great fucking job as Wesker. He was like, there were scenes in that, like the whole when he goes to the high school and his daughter gets in trouble for assaulting another student and he threatens the father of the other student who's going after his daughter. That whole entire scene was menacing as fuck. Like he does a good menacing Wesker. The show was great in terms of just its set pieces, its CGI, the BOWs. It just fell apart at the end a little bit, in my opinion. But I
Yeah.
mean, to each their own. Again, you
Yeah.
got multiple cakes in front of you. You could either enjoy all of them or you could be picky. You don't have to have your cake and eat it.
I mean, also, if it's with the cake analogy, it's like you got two halves. You think you have two halves of chocolate, and you bite into one half, and it's like strawberry. You go, I don't like strawberry.
I fucking love strawberry.
Or
Eat
red velvet. I don't like red
Okay,
velvet.
yeah, red velvet I could agree with.
Okay, so chocolate and red velvet, and you take a bite into the red velvet, and you're like,
I don't know. Chocolate and red velvet together is kind of a good
no,
combination.
but it's two
Depending.
halves. They're split
Depending.
up. Now,
Listen, you could
maybe
just
you could
take it,
take
mash it
both of
into a
them, put it
ball, and
together.
make cake pops.
Yeah, and you're sitting there, playing your game while watching the show, and you're going, man, the game is so much better.
Make it to where you're appreciative of what you have. Because I mean, that's the thing too with Welcome to Raccoon City and the Netflix TV series is people hated it so much that it canceled future projects.
Yeah, and see, I don't like it that much. I don't hate anything that much that I feel like it shouldn't keep going with it. Like like the whole Star Wars thing when they made the Solo movie.
Yeah,
I fucking love Solo. That's one of my like
I love
favorite of the more recent
aspects
movies.
of Solo.
Like I enjoyed the whole Kessel Run section was fucking awesome. We get to see what happened when he did the Kessel Run and he broke the record. Like that
Seeing
whole
Sam
segment was
Witwer as
fucking
Maul.
yes. I haven't gotten to watch the new Darth Maul
Me
show,
neither
but you
yet.
better believe that's going to happen
That
probably
is
tomorrow.
tonight. That is for me tonight
Oh,
or
brother.
tomorrow while I'm
Bro,
editing.
I'm not even. I'll talk to you about it afterwards. I'm not going to go into another tangent, but the like that people the fans that were like, no, this is just bad modern Disney Star Wars. It's like, dude, they were gonna make the Obi-Wan show into a movie, and they were gonna make it a lot better probably as the movie because
I don't know. I like
so
the Obi-Wan show.
there's way
I
too much
was
fluff in it. There's way too
I
much filler in it, and it is
I
so
don't mind
unnecessary.
filler. I don't mind filler
But it's
because it gives you a little bit extra, gives you some more to
that
chew on.
no, but when it's unnecessary,
I would rather have more than not enough.
I'd rather have more of what's important. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
but
like
not always in a movie is everything they put in important.
we're just gonna have to disagree on this one.
All right, well, let's jump into your topic.
All right.
We spent a lot of time on mine, and before
So,
one of us assaults each other through the camera.
as a father, there has been a major topic that has ran through my brain while playing many video games and watching different IPs, whether it's movies or video games. I don't think anybody in here in this list is from books, but they mainly come from movies and games. Fictional dads, are they good or are they bad? And we're going to be ranking. What did you say? Well, I don't even remember how many I had. What, 13, 14?
You have 14 fathers
14 fathers from
and
fiction.
5 categories.
Yep. We're going to rank them from S to F. S, A, B, C, F.
And I'm here as a professional, not as a father, but
He froze again. Give him a
I
second.
don't really know why I'm here. I'm not a father.
You
I don't have great fatherly influence in life, but I'm here to rate these sons of
hey,
bitches
that's why it's
on
going to
how
be really
good
good
of a
because
father they are. All right.
we're gonna have different opinions because I'm a father and you're not. You still got to experience the morality of their decisions.
You
Most of
want to
them.
be my daddy?
Already
Now
got,
the
dude.
pot.
I already
Now
got
the
your
podcast is taking
adoption
a different.
papers filled out. So just tell me when.
Now, take me to Kansas or Kentucky or
Kentucky.
wherever. Kentucky. Take me
So
to Kentucky.
we're gonna start at the top of the list here, and we're gonna rank them from S, A, B, C, or F. All
So,
right,
are
Tim.
we gonna just mark down what we both rank them as, and then in the end we'll make it definitive, or
Yeah, we're gonna mark them on our own. Maybe we'll make our decisions, but when we're done with that certain character, we'll both say what we marked them as.
all right? Well, let's get to it. Let's get started.
All right. So first on the list we have Geralt of Rivia.
All right,
Geralt of Rivia. He
do
is
you want to
from
go
The
first, or
Witcher
do I want
3
to?
to 1, 3 to 1, going backwards. Also the TV shows, and he has, books. I guess there's books out there of The Witcher, right? Yeah, he originated from the books, became the games, and then became the show, which I floundered on that one. He you play the first game and there's no inkling whatsoever that he is a father. He's lost his memories. And then you go into the second one, he still doesn't have his memories, but the main focus of the second one is him regaining his memories. The minute that man regains his memories and he finds out that he has a daughter, the whole third game is him trying to find his daughter. He spends the entire third game. It's not really his daughter. He gains his daughter from the what is it? Something a surprise. Oh my god.
Oh,
Tim, help me here.
Death Surprise. No,
No, something a surprise. Oh my god.
I know what you're
Anyway,
talking about, and I can't remember the name of it right
I
now.
spaced it. But he basically through an act of protecting the princess, I'm also losing the lore here, but she is a daughter of the elder. So she has elder blood within her. So he trains her to become a witcher growing up. And then he loses her when the Wild Hunt tries to take her, and he basically makes a deal to go with them and serves under the Wild Hunt for like a month, and that's how he loses his memory. So he
Called
picks
the
up from
Law of Surprise.
Law of Surprise. Thank you. So after he escapes from the Wild Hunt finally, he just and regains his memory, he picks up like, no, we need to find her. I need to find my daughter. He's having dreams about her and will not stop until he finds her. Yes.
Are we going solely off of games or other
I haven't read enough of the books yet.
Okay, because I've read the books.
I have the books. I have not read them yet.
Yeah.
So we're going off
continue.
games.
Continue.
We're going off games. The man does not stop. He finally finds her, and depending on, I guess it depends, but the canon-wise, Geralt doesn't take the reward for finally finding her because he makes the deal with I don't want to say what they're called in game, but oh my god, I'm spacing the names of everybody. Starts with an N. I almost said Newburgh. He makes with King Imran, I think that's his name. King Imran. He makes a deal with him to find Ciri because he's really his dad or her dad. And he tells him that if Geralt finds Ciri, then he was going to give him a fat reward. So when you finally take her to Imran, he's like, "Here's your money. Here's your chest." I made the mistake of taking the money. I didn't realize there was major choices or major changes to the story if you do that. And then immediately I reloaded the save because Ciri's reaction to seeing Geralt collect that money, they're like, "Here's 1, 2, 3, 4," counting every coin into Geralt's hand, and I felt so bad. So Geralt, canon-wise, doesn't take the money. He has heart-to-heart moments with Ciri, and then ends up training her to take over the mantle for him when he goes and retires with his goth baddie in the vineyard.
Well, thanks for ruining Witcher 3's ending for me. I haven't gotten there yet, but
Dude, the game's been out for like
I
20
know
years.
Garrett. Yeah. I put Geralt at an S rank for father tier because despite not having finished Witcher 3, I do know Geralt's love and affection for Ciri through the books and the fact that reluctantly he does train her to become a Witcher. And he showers her in love and affection, protection. He goes ape shit if anything happens to her. And he just overall exuberates I'm trying to think of the way I want to say it. Being the fact that being as a Witcher, you are deemed infertile, it is his chance to have something that he can never have. And it is absolutely something that you see Geralt never taking for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Just the same as Yennefer, since Witchers aren't really supposed to feel anything either. Yennefer, Geralt, and Ciri's lives are all intertwined with one another through magic, and it's one of those things that really makes him an outstanding protagonist.
How far did you make it into The Witcher 3?
I don't remember because it was a game I was playing for Nicole at the time, made it up to a certain point, we broke up, and I never jumped back in.
Well, there's a point later in the game that Geralt and Yennefer, they try to see if they can break the spell that basically destines them to be together, and Yennefer wants to see if that's the reason they love each other or if they truly love each other. And so you go through this whole thing where you fight the djinn and you break the spell that causes them to be forced to love each other. And if you make the right choice, then they truly do love each other. So then it shows that Geralt's not really forced to care about the people that are in his life. He genuinely does care about the people that are in his life.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong, I know what happens in Witcher 3 because even though I didn't play it and beat it, I watched a lot of things on it. And
I actually
have
haven't
like the
beaten
lore.
Blood and Wine yet, but I have had that spoiled for me about the whole him retiring
That,
in the vineyard.
Yeah, which also goes into play to Witcher 4.
Mm-hmm. So you marked him as an S. I marked him as an A just because I have a couple other guys here that I did put as S. Geralt was a very hard choice to put into A, but I did put him into A.
It was an easy no-brainer for me to put him in S.
Yeah. Because he does give Ciri the best possible chance that she can have in the situation of the world that they live in. The only
Oh yeah,
reason that he's not
in the
around her
world of
more is
Witcher, where like parents are selling their children or just every which way, like Ciri has the best possible father figure.
mhm.
Not only in the simple fact that like her biological father pays somebody else to go find her. If Geralt was the biological father and had the money to pay somebody, he still would have done it himself.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
that speaks
Because nobody else,
volumes on his character,
because he's the greatest
especially in that world.
tracker. Yeah, and nobody else would have been able to find her as fast as he would have been able to. So he's like,
Well, even skill and all that apart, I think it just speaks to him as a
mhm,
character.
true.
All right.
All right,
Next.
so the next
I
character I
did
have
S.
on here is Dutch Vanderlyn from Red Dead 2.
I did
Another
S.
surrogate
You
father.
did A. Do you want me to go first?
Well, I gave kind of a little lore dump on Geralt. Do you want me to give a lore dump on everybody?
Yeah, you know what? This is your segment. Don't let me take it from you, all right? You.
So, Dutch Vanderlyn is the surrogate father of Arthur Morgan and John Marston in Red Dead Redemption. So, he basically ran the Vanderlyn gang, which kind of was really just him and Hosea until he ran across Arthur Morgan, who was kind of a little orphan boy. And he saw the potential in Arthur and kind of, he brought him into the gang of two men and kind of taught him how to read, kind of tried to share his morality with him. And, kind of, they started doing little jobs together. And then they came across John Marston and did the same thing with him, made him another surrogate son, taught him to read. Didn't give him art skill or whatever. Apparently, Arthur got all the art classes, but um, they
I
kind of
mean,
became a little.
art is an acquired skill. Like, you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's kind of
Uh,
like swimming and
yeah,
other
not everybody can.
natural feats of survival.
Yeah, it do be like that. So they Arthur and John grew up with having Dutch being basically their adopted father, along with Hosea. Hosea was like their adopted grandfather or uncle. So they grew up to basically look up to Dutch in that way, and Dutch preached to them all the time of having this morality of, we only steal from the people that we have to steal from. We have to do what we have to do to survive. Their entire lives, they made the game bigger. They brought women in, and the stuff they did with the women that's not in the game was a little questionable, but then it gets to the point in the events of Red Dead Redemption 2 that the veil kind of starts slipping as the selfishness of Dutch really starts to show, and he's more of a cult leader, and it starts to put the question into John and Arthur's mind of, what did he really care about them to begin with, or were they a means to an end? Or was he more putting investment in on them to be able to do the dirty work for him? And so you get to later in the game that Dutch is really starting to grow crazy and starting to show his colors, that he starts doing things like leaves John to die multiple times, almost leaves John to be hung because he's in prison later in the game. Doesn't really point out the fact that Arthur is obviously dying the last two chapters of the game. Arthur literally looks like death is on his shoulders, and Dutch doesn't even make a single comment on it at all. And if he does, I think he's giving Arthur shit about it. He kind of lets whatever go on in the camp and doesn't listen to the opinions of either Arthur or John, who are basically his kids. And then the final seal was when he went to leave Arthur to die in the oil factory, when a man literally has a knife over Arthur's heart, and Dutch just kind of like, what are you gonna do? And turns around and walks away.
Well, boy, he better decide that out on
Here's
himself.
Arthur, it's part of my plan. You need to take one for the team and take a knife in the heart for the team. You get a bonus. And the whole time preaching to Arthur that he needs to put more money into the to the box.
Man, I was
Community
the
box.
biggest contributor.
I only put contributions in that made my gameplay easier.
I gave it all. I was like, I want my camp to have it all.
I
was like,
our
everybody gets a new horse.
Dutch's tent got the last upgrade for me. He got the last upgrade for me. What does Dutch do? He just sits around, listens to his music, and reads his books all day long, and argues with Molly. So it definitely is solidified, in my opinion, that by the end of the game, that Dutch didn't really care, or he kind of lost track of what his family meant to him. At least if he did care at all until the very end. If you get the good ending, which is the canon ending of Dutch or of Arthur laying on the ground going, "I gave you all I had. I did." And Dutch kind of comes to the realization of what he's done and turns around and walks away. But at that point, it's too late, dude. You can't beat your kid and then be like, you know what, I fucked up afterwards. You can't give your kid a fucking concussion and be like, my bad.
I mean, you can. Just
You
don't tell
can,
the
but is
CPS
it really
about it.
morality wise the best thing? No. But
Listen, I don't know your morality and you don't know mine. I don't know if you secretly take Dom out packages.
son, go pick out your Switch. I am in Kentucky after all. Go pick your Switch, bud. No.
He just grabs it mid swing. He's like, "Father, I have learned the way." You're like,
he uppercuts me right in the dick. No, he learned my attack pattern. I'm a Dark Soul. I'm a FromSoft player. He's gonna learn my attack patterns. I'm not risking that.
You just see your son start die rolling.
Damn, his iframes are crazy, man. Fuck.
Your dog walks outside. Your son's just like, "Ugh."
Yeah. Yeah. So I marked Dutch Vanderlyn as an S. No, I'm just kidding. I marked him as an F.
I like for a second there, I was like, Jesus Christ, boy. I marked Dutch Vanderlyn as a C. Because I don't think he's the worst of the options we have. I also don't think he's the best. I do think in the beginning he was a bit caring and everything. Let me look at the other notes I wrote on him. He's one of the few people he provided to orphans in the beginning, and then he did take in Arthur and John and started the gang and all that. I do think the trolley crash in Saint Denis where he hits his head exasperates kind of the stress and trauma, his grand delusions of optimism, his paranoia. I think everything kind of feeds into that after that certain point where he just kind of loses who he is. And
That is a good point. I always forget about the brain
everything
damage.
becomes a means to an end for him. He has one big plan.
Go to Tahiti and grow mangoes.
And I do think, like as you said in the good ending, when he sits there and he looks at like Arthur and he has to turn and walk away. What you didn't mention is in that epilogue, he does shoot Micah, which was the source of a lot of the issues. Micah was whispering in Dutch's ear, adding on to the paranoia, the stress, the narcissistic personality disorder. Like everything was heavily influenced by Micah.
My biggest thing that would have been the major redemption for Dutch, not if he shot him in the epilogue, which I know they had to do all that just for gameplay wise. If
Gameplay
Dutch,
and it does kind of set up one.
it does. It was, so I understand why they did that, but the biggest redemption for Dutch right in that moment is if he pulled his gun on Micah then. When he realizes, oh, I fucked up. I've been listening to the wrong person this entire time. I let a snake in my camp. If he pulled the gun and shot Micah right then and there, that would have been probably the best thing
for Arthur.
For Arthur to have that closure with Dutch instead of just walking off.
But it wouldn't have been the best thing for Dutch. because you're already
Which
so far
brings it
down that
around
path.
back to that selfish tendency that Dutch has.
Well, that's
'Cause
why
he
I have
doesn't.
him at a C.
Yeah.
He's
So
not up there. Again, in his base concept of what we know of Dutch before the head injury and before Micah, was a good person.
mhm.
But he wasn't like the best father to deserve absolutely not the S rank or A or B. That's why I have him at C.
Okay. So for my next one, I have Kratos, the god of war. Kratos.
Well, continue. I'm waiting for you to speak your
All right.
mind, boy.
So, Kratos, god of war. We all know how that started out, right? Kratos went a little ape shit because, do we really blame him for what happened to his wife and his daughter? Not really. I don't, at least. He's in them times, he's a Spartan general. He makes a pact with his god, Ares, to wipe out my enemies, and my life is yours. So Ares does exactly that. He wipes out the enemies for Kratos, but then he takes over Kratos' soul and makes him his own puppet and causes Kratos to kill his own wife and kids when he's raiding a village. So, do I really blame him for that? Because he didn't realize it was his wife and kid. He's being controlled by Ares. Yes, he did make the pact to begin with, but he didn't really realize that was going to be what was going to happen. He didn't think it was the gods were going to be so evil. You look like you got a point to make. Okay, go for it.
No, continue. This is your
Okay.
bit. I could wait.
Okay, so fast forward, Kratos is pissed off and he vows he works for Athena for a long time. He works for Athena, kind of doing the gods' bidding for a bit. He can't sleep. He's having constant nightmares because being tormented by the gods. So he goes ape shit. And he's fed up with the gods and decides to be gone, you guys. Be gone, especially after Athena.
The headset. I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay. After Athena helps him defeat Ares by guiding him basically to getting Pandora's box and getting the power of the gods, he's able to wipe out Ares and get his revenge for his wife and kid. So there are the other games. We do have the side games. I think his Ghost of Sparta is the one where he goes back or he ends up going to
There's Ghost of Sparta, Ascension, and Gods of Olympus.
It's either Ghost of Sparta or Gods of Olympus. The one where he goes to Ephyria. I forgot the name of the afterlife for Greek mythology, but where he runs into his daughter and he has the opportunity to spend in the rest of his afterlife with his daughter. But if he did, then he wasn't gonna be able to finish his mission. Or it was something with the world. Is he protecting the world? I can't quite. I never actually played that one, but I do know that it's very important for him to not stay with his daughter. So he chooses to sacrifice his remaining relationship of what he could have with his daughter to go. So the greatest ending for a kid. So I kind of forgot that when I ranked him until the moment I started talking about it. But he does get a little bit of redemption because after he finally goes through the events of the third game and has his little hissy fit and rampages through Olympus and kills all of the gods, destroys the pantheon of all of Greece and destroys all of the Greek world by unleashing all the curses of each god on the people and wiping out millions of people, he decides to settle down and start a little family. He meets some big Amazonian Norse woman and decides to have a little baby with her. That had to have been aggressive. And pops out little Atreus. And he vows after everything he had done from the original trilogy and after having his son that he is not going to make the same mistakes again. He will not have his... Huh?
I said, and his exploits in Egypt.
Is that actually true?
Yes, it's in a comic.
Oh, I forgot about the comic. Yeah, you're right. Yep. I never read the comics.
Bitch. No.
Shut the fuck up. So after he has Atreus and he start seeing that the events of the fourth game, to where they're being pushed more into conflict, Kratos is afraid the entire time that either his old self is going to come out and it's going to affect his son, or that his son is going to have the same traits he has and is going to follow in the same path that he did. In which he starts noticing that Atreus's obsession is very much like his own, and so he tries the damn hardest that he can to keep Atreus from following in his path. Even though it might not be the same or look the same, it is the same. And so the entirety of God of War 4 and God of War Ragnarok is of Kratos trying to protect his son at all costs, even though his son is the biggest. Atreus is the most frustrating. As a father, Atreus is the most frustrating, in at least in, not so much in 4, but in Ragnarok, he is so goddamn frustrating. But he is Kratos' son. That obsession will get to him. So I'll say I marked him as an S, honestly.
Nice,
And
nice,
here's my
nice,
reason.
nice.
I'll say here's my reasoning why. I marked Kratos as an S because the man literally does everything he can for his son. Literally gave up what peace he could have had because his son is like, but dad, I need to do this. And he knows his son's going to do it anyway. So he throws away everything to make sure that his son can get through what he can get through. I never actually beat Ragnarok. I've seen a lot of spoilers, but I never actually finished it. I got to the second. I got to the second segment of Atreus being in Valhalla, and I stopped because I hate the Atreus sections. I got so
I'm
bored.
looking at something real quick.
I can't remember if, because I'm pretty sure there's a second section that you play as him after you get the mask segment with Thor when you guys go to hell.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a second
So,
segment after that. That's when I quit because I'm like, fuck, I'm playing as Atreus again. Damn it.
so you put Kratos at an S, which I think is phenomenal. I put Kratos at an A. Um, to touch on some of the stuff you already mentioned, his original family and daughter Calliope, or however you would pronounce her name,
I think that's
he
pretty close.
does end up killing them, but again, as you mentioned, it wasn't really on his fault. He was an avatar of the Greek god of war, Ares. Ares tricked him, as the Greek gods did often in a lot of tales, and it turned Kratos from a destroyer of Ares into a vengeful destroyer who was hell bent on tearing down the Olympic gods, which is what the first 6 games focus on, is his just destruction through Greek. Um I looked into it with the part you're saying from God of War Chains of Olympus within the Elysian Fields. He is
Elysian.
forced he is forced to abandon her again to save the world.
I couldn't remember if it
So
was actually to save the world or not.
I forgot about that part until you brought it up because I glazed through Chains of Olympus. That is hard as a character development, which makes his relationship with Atreus even better because again, he did murder his first family. He was forced to kill his wife and daughter, and then when he finally got what that moment that he probably waited his entire demigod life for, to be reunited with his daughter, he was forced to give her up again,
Well, and if
which
you
would
remember that,
reignite the like fires of hatred and vengefulness.
well, and if you remember that section too, the QTE for having to leave your daughter in that section is one of the hardest QTEs ever, because you have to keep mashing the button as fast as you can, and if you're not sitting there for like a solid minute mashing the button, like she keeps coming back and he's like no, and then there's like another section where she like hugs him from behind and he's like no, and then she'll like latch onto his leg and he's like no, and it's like
Well,
one of the
yeah.
hardest QTEs.
Again, it also could be chalked up to the gods playing another trick on him, though,
That is
and
true.
subduing him. Which it makes a lot of sense when you go into God of War 4, his distance and everything with Atreus. Like he sees a lot of himself, a younger version of himself, a younger version of a Spartan. Like he sees that rage within Atreus, especially throughout the first game and into Ragnarok when he discovers he is Loki. And he comes from a position of like millennia of time to be able to sit down with Atreus and teach him the values of what it's like to be a god, to be human, to have rage, emotion, what's good for the people. And I mean, even at the end of the game, not that it speaks on volumes of Kratos as a father, but as Kratos as a person, he looks back in Valhalla to the younger, vengeful version of himself, and he's able to let that go.
And
Which
then
just
becomes the
shows,
god of hope instead of the god of war.
yes, which I think was a part of him the entire time. If it wasn't the desperation of this, was it the Sparta War or the a different war that he pledged his allegiance to
It's
Ares,
because of the barbarians.
the barbarians? If he never would have had to pledge himself to Ares, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have been a good father to Celope,
Celipe? Something like that. Celife. Celibate? I don't know.
But I feel even with Atre- God
Atreus.
Atreus, he is a good father through and through.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say S rank tier of a father, but he is definitely like the upper line, bottom line of an A. Upper
Right.
line of the A, bottom of an S. Like right there pushing
Like
through.
that Kratos was so hard to put as an S because I almost put Geralt. I was seriously balancing between Geralt and Kratos as an S tier father.
I only put Geralt in S because he wasn't a father leading to the events of seeing him as a father. He had
Mm-hmm.
no fathering experience. He was abandoned by his own family to be a witcher. So it puts Geralt one over on Kratos in my book. Whereas Kratos, well, a lot of Kratos' character development we see stems from being a father who lost his wife and child.
That's fair.
Kratos'
I respect that.
whole character arc is built on losing his family.
Right.
Which, I mean, is deserving of S rank. I will say that. It is very deserving of an
The
S
fact
rank.
that he's willing
the
to try
ultimate
again.
dad. And he
Yeah.
tries again, knowing the pains of being a god. Something he adamantly hates.
And even then, you got to think the trauma that he has of losing his wife and child, and now he has lost. In the events of the fourth game, he had just lost his new wife, and now is stuck with only his son. The fear that he has of losing his son again or his
Oh
child
yeah, it
again.
shows. The one thing I can speak on why I don't put Kratos at S is there is a scene in, I don't remember if it's 4 or Ragnarok, where Kratos is in a portal or something, and he's in there talking to Freya, and he doesn't want to leave, and Atreus literally had to
Those
drag
fourth game.
Kratos, where
Yeah.
Atreus had to drag him out. He was about to abandon Atreus and like the whole entire mission.
To be fair, he didn't realize that there was going to be a time skip because he felt he was only in there for like a minute in our perspective, but it was like hours that Atreus was out there protecting him.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not something on his fault as a
Mm-hmm.
character. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like that whole entire section could have gone bad in so many ways. Odin
Right.
could have striked at that point. The Valkyries, the elves, anything, frost giants, you name it, could have attacked at that point.
Right.
And
Okay.
Kratos would have been defenseless.
All right. I'm gonna jump to the next one because we are only 3 in. How long we've been recording?
Let me see when David asked what I was doing when we were talking midway. Yeah, it's been way over an hour.
All right, and yeah, we have 11 more. So I'm gonna give.
We started this meeting. There's a timestamp. We started this meeting at 8:26.
It's been almost 2 hours, Tim.
Yes, I know. I know.
All right,
So
so
let's speed run this. If you don't know
we'll
who
speed run
these
this.
characters are, then fuck
I'll
you.
give very refined explanations on them as a father. Okay, so the next one is a big one, and I'm not going to give all the lore for this anyway. God Emperor of Warhammer. So I'm not going to give his whole backstory because I'll be talking for like a month. But so basically, he is God. He is Emperor. He realizes that he wants to create his sons from himself that would be able to lead his Astartes, his grand warriors, basically, genetically engineered. So he creates 12 sons. I believe it's 12 sons.
The Primarchs.
The Primarchs. And he sends each and every one of them to a separate planet within the universe. Oh my God, I almost knocked my mic over. So that they would be able to land there, learn, and govern their people and grow up on their own way to be able to lead their own form of Astartes. And basically every interaction that he has with his sons from the books, I haven't read all of them, I've read a few of them. He's not the greatest at interacting with his kids. He's kind of like, do my bidding, do your job. He has one favorite son. I don't remember which one it is. I don't remember if it's Gilliman or not. I'm pretty sure he has one son that is kind of like the favorite child, but he still kind of treats them like shit too. It's more of like, you're my best workhorse, so you get a little pat on the head. All the rest of you, do better.
Yeah, I put him at F. He viewed his sons as just tools. He's very manipulative and abusive.
I put him at C, and here's my argument why. If you know the world of Warhammer, that's kind of the best case scenario for a father.
I don't know Warhammer whatsoever. I'm just putting him at F off of what I researched.
He's not a great dad, I'll say that, but with what they got to deal with, it's kind of one of those things you got to be tough to make them tough kind of situations, in my opinion.
All right, next.
All right, so we got Anakin Skywalker. Oh, no, I skipped one. Sorry, Hawkeye.
B.
You gave him a B.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him an A. As a father, if I lost my kids, he's just a normal-ass dude. A normal-ass dude that has a particular set of skills. He loses his kids very abruptly out of nowhere. He's out there eating
So you're
hot dogs.
basing this off of MCU.
Yes, I'm basing it off of the main line of what everybody really
man,
knows from them.
You gotta stick to it. You said with Geralt, we're going. Everybody's based off of games, and then you're throwing Hawkeye in here.
Okay, so we're gonna go off the movies because it's the mainstream character that everybody knows.
All
Not
right,
everybody's
I want to
read
go
the
re-rank
comics.
Geralt real quick. No, kidding.
Not everybody's read the comics. More people have read or watched the movies than read the comics. So, Hawkeye from the movies, I gave him an A.
I gave him a B. I gave him a B because it's just the cliche dad role, in my opinion. He was a good father. He was a government agent. He was a family man. When his family got dusted in the MCU, he became the vengeful Ronin. But outside of that, it was him dealing with his own pain of losing his family. It wasn't to bring his family back. It was just his way of expressing his hurt.
Well, he didn't
but
have
he
hope.
was also I also put him at B because in the situation of getting the soul stone, knowing he could bring his family back, he was going to absolutely leave his family kidless or fatherless by sacrificing himself. Where Widow,
that's a hard one though. That's a hard one though.
Widow is the better choice because she doesn't really have anybody except Yelena.
Yeah, but if you're in that situation where you got to sacrifice you or someone that you really, really care about, even if, I mean...
Brian, I would kill you in a second. I would walk over there, grab you by the nostrils, and rip your head off.
Fair enough.
Kidding.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I find him too generic as a father figure to really rate him against, characters like Geralt, Joel, Kratos. Where
Yeah,
there's no
he doesn't
there's
have the same
no
problems that they do have to go through, but I think I'm classifying him as what my standard of a father is, which is he's there at the baseball games, He loves his family. He's there for him. He doesn't he's not a deadbeat. So,
that still just paints it as a baseline.
yeah. So,
B's baseline.
I got Anakin Skywalker for the next one.
I put Anakin at a C.
I also put him at a C.
He
Um,
tortured his daughter, cut off his son's hand. Like, it wasn't until the very end that he actually made a sacrifice for his kids. And I also am on the side of believing that if, like, he never became Vader, he would have been an extremely controlling father due to his fears, which drove him to be Vader.
due to his fears, but also of his expectations, because since he was the chosen one and he already had so much expectations on himself, that his offspring were going to have the same expectations. They
If
were going to
we
be the
had
best
a
of the best.
D, he would have been at D. He's not the shittiest father here, but he's by no means the best father. One
Yeah,
act of heroism does not make up for destroying Alderaan and hunting your children, trying to convert them to your cause and everything.
yeah, which I do know that he did believe that they were dead for a long time. We don't really know exactly when he found out that Luke and Leia were his kids, but at least I don't know exactly when.
I think he knew at the scene where they were in Coruscant, or no, the Cloud City. What's the name of the Cloud City?
But it starts with the B. Bespin, I think.
Maybe with Lando,
Yeah, I think that's Bespin.
where Lando like betrays him and Luke gets his hand cut off. I think it's at that point obviously it's at that point that he knows they're his father, because Luke, I am your father.
Actually, isn't there a scene where the Emperor tells him? I can't
I
remember.
don't
It's been so long since I've
remember.
watched those movies.
It's been a while for me too, because I'm also remembering the no, but I also think that's to him finding out his kids died. Because
Yeah,
the emperor tells him the kids die.
that's from Revenge of the Sith when he finds out that Padme died and he thinks that the kids died in childbirth. So you killed her, and he goes, no. Yeah, that's from
Just like
Revenge of the
that.
Sith. Yeah.
Well, we finally have one we agree on, and funny enough, it's Star Wars related.
Yep. My next one is Goku.
I put Goku in A.
I put him in a B.
I put Goku at A because even though he is extremely absent-minded and seems to only care about training, he is also very loving and protective. But again, like he takes Gohan fishing, he trains Gohan to be a better fighter, to protect himself. He has so much faith in Gohan enough to give Cell a senso bean.
I was actually going to tell you that I made that comment earlier, but it was as a joke. The whole reason that he gave Cell the Sensu Bean was because he knew that Gohan's true power wasn't going to come out unless he was pushed to his absolute extent. That he
And
knew that, and that's why he gave Cell, because he knew that Cell wasn't gonna. Cell was probably still gonna be able to beat Gohan, maybe if he didn't have his full potential as well. So he knew that if
all Goku
Gohan,
wanted was Gohan to get to his true potential.
yeah, because when they were training, he said he realized when Gohan was absolutely exhausted, when he was gassed out of his mind and was just beat to shit, when they were training in the timeless area, I forgot what it's called. That's when he saw Gohan like absolutely level up in power. So he knew that he had the potential to do that, but that was the only way that he was going to be able to do it. It was a big gamble, and it actually didn't end up working because Goku ended up having to sacrifice himself to not have everybody die. But because Cell was going to explode,
Yeah.
so Cell was going to self detonate and destroy the planet. So Goku instant transmissioned himself off the planet with Cell. But
I still think Goku is a good father.
I think he's a good father.
It's varied, like not S tier, because again, absent-minded, just is very aloof to a lot of things in his personal life.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's down with C. He's better than some of the other ones that I feel are redeemable. He's just absent-minded.
And that's why I put him at a B, because he's very much like, if I could choose to train over spending time with my kid, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I put him at a B, because he's not the greatest father, but he's not like he would do anything for his kids, kind of. My next one is Booker DeWitt from BioShock Infinite. I put this on the list because I'm currently playing through the game, and I'm going to do a video on this list. I don't know 100% about Booker DeWitt. I do know that by the end of BioShock Infinite, he has a very much surrogate father and daughter relationship with Elizabeth.
Huh. Did I miscount or did I not put Booker DeWitt in my list? Oh, you know what? I didn't put Booker DeWitt in my list because I didn't know who Denethor was. I have Booker DeWitt at the rare D. He's uncategorized in mine.
Really?
Yeah,
I put
because
him
I'm
at a
looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, well then I'll have a D also. Well, excuse me.
I don't know. If I had
Yeah, I'll
the
have a
option
D.
to put him somewhere, he would. If he had to be ranked in our ranks, he would be at an F. He sold his daughter to pay off debts.
I actually
And
didn't know that yet.
Booker DeWitt. Oh,
Yeah, I'm only at the part where you just get Elizabeth and you're on the beach after you escape the giant metal bird. That's as far as I've gotten.
oh.
I'll forget by tomorrow, promise.
Well, Booker DeWitt sells his daughter to pay off debts, and the entire game is pretty much his redemption arc.
Okay, because all I've known is from what I've heard is that he does end up having a very father-son relationship with Elizabeth by the end of the
He
game.
does, but it's one that's made out of, well,
Necessity.
I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Okay. So I put him at a B, kind of like a baseline father. That's where I put him at. This is from what I know. Like I said, I'm playing through the game right now. I'm planning on doing
I was
this
gonna
list
say
later.
Booker DeWitt is, yeah, you're playing through it. I'm
I'll
going
go off
with
of your
D.
opinion.
I'm
I'll go
going
with
with
your
D.
opinion. You know.
I'm gonna leave him unranked at D.
My next character on here is Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2.
I need your Booker DeWitt, your official Booker DeWitt.
Oh, I put B. But I think I'm just going to go with what you did, but I'm not going to mark it as D because I have another character that's a D since you have one.
Okay, well then I'm writing in B.
Yeah, marking a B for me.
All right, I have Handsome Jack at an F.
Me too.
He literally imprisons his own fucking daughter, abused her, controlled her, used her for just her powers to achieve his own gains. Like, he's scum of the earth. There's a reason
that
why he's the villain.
that reveal that Angel the whole time has been his daughter and that she's been chained up in a machine the entire time it was fucking insane the first time I played through the game.
I haven't played through the game and gotten to that part. I just knew about it.
Yeah, seriously, when you go into the mechanism that she's connected to, and it's this giant core, basically, I was
Is
like,
that in pre-sequel or in 2?
it's in 2. It's close to the end of the second game.
I'm close to that then.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that he did that. That she's just because she's a siren, really is why he did it. So it's like, okay, so you treat your kid out of that due to necessity. If she wasn't a siren, would he even kept her, or would he have just like put her in a trash chute in the machine in the spaceship on the Hyperion ship? Would he just been like, useless kid, get it out of here?
Right. It makes sense though why in pre-sequel he didn't want to talk about his family.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we both have him as an F. Next one is Joel Miller.
I have Joel at S.
I have him as an A.
Do you want to say why you have him as an A or why I have him as an S?
He's a very close S, but I put basically Joel as an A because I have another character on here that goes through a lot of the same thing Joel does, but I just liked his character more. So I put him as an S.
I have him at S because he loses Sarah, his first daughter, in like a gut-wrenching, horrible way, and you could tell he was a good father to Sarah.
Dude, that shit made me cry the first time I played it.
He was such a good father to Sarah. And like, yeah, no, that scene made me cry too. It made me cry both times that I played the video game and when I first watched the TV show. I cried all 3 times I've seen that cutscene. And then just the relationship he gets with Ellie, where it starts very distant, but closes very quick, where he goes from not wanting her to literally trying to pawn her off on Tommy because he is getting too close, to literally exterminating the Fireflies.
Just for her, yeah.
Just for her. And I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I've had this argument with so many people that I am on the fence that he is justified.
oh, he's
There was
100%
there
justified.
was
He's one.
no 100% evidence that through her death would they have manufactured a cure. For one, nobody in there was like a brain surgeon doctor. Abby's father
uh,
was a fucking veterinarian that was going
you-
to be performing the brain surgery.
And you can't make a cure for cordyceps. You can't make a cure for it. And even if they did make a cure, they don't have the infrastructure to be able to mass produce it.
Exactly.
So
It
what
was
was it just
going
going to
to
be for the
kill her for.
fireflies?
It was going to kill her for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And 100% real life situation, if I was in that moment, I would have done the same exact thing.
And even
that's
then,
why
the fireflies weren't even 100% clean either. They were not the greatest people.
No, they weren't. They were terrorists.
Yeah. So I agree with you, 100% justified.
That's
I
why he's
also
S rank.
I agree with that. I'll tell you who my next S rank is after a couple. But my next one is Darth Revan, the GOAT from Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
So I never played Knights of the Old Republic 2, so I honestly didn't know that Darth Revan had a kid named Vanner.
You don't know he has a kid unless you read the lore. I think it might be in a book, and it might be mentioned in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMORPG. Or at least you find out where
Nobody
he
wants
is.
to play the MMO with me, so I don't play the MMO.
I'll play it with you.
I want you to play with.
If we ever have time to play together, I mean, that's a big game for us to try to tackle with everything else we're trying to do. But
dude, I've been wanting to tackle ESO. Motherfuckers be too sensitive about spending time dedicated to a single game. That's what Twitch streamers do.
I'll carry you through. I have a high level character or a high-ish level character on ESO. Anyway, so Darth Revan, he's kind of he's not a deadbeat. He has a kid with Bastila Shan. He lands the baddie by the end of the first game.
Okay,
And
so it is with Bastila?
canon wise, he ends up having a kid with Bastila.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's canon. He ends up with Bastila Shan. And they have a kid. I forgot what the name of the kid is, but
I literally
basically,
just said it. It's Vanner.
yeah, he bangs her, gets the goo in her egg.
Oh, is that how babies are made?
Yeah, and then he dips because there's something with like the dark side wars or something like that. I forgot what it's called. But
He leaves to protect them, which is why I have Revan at a C.
I also have
No, I have
Revan at
Revan. I have Revan at a B and a C. So I put Revan in the list twice.
I have Revan as a C because he's not there at all for the child's life at all. He disappears. He goes out for milk and doesn't come back. And it's not 100% on him. That's why he's at a C, even though he's an absent father.
Who was the guy I put at D?
You put Booker DeWitt at D.
Okay, so I'm gonna put Booker DeWitt at C, and then I'm gonna do Revan at B, where I already had him marked at.
Okay.
Because I realized I put Revan in the list twice.
So if Revan left to protect them, yes, but he's still absent. He's not there.
Yeah, he's not there. He's doing a good deed. He's doing what must be done to protect his family, but by also being gone to protect his family, he's not there for his family.
It's the whole thing with like your Hawkeye argument.
Yeah.
He left his child fatherless. And he's not 100% dead because in Star Wars: The Old Republic, you do end up finding him kind of in a ghost form. So I guess he is kind of dead. I don't know. I don't really 100% know that. That's part of my research. But you do end up coming across him. He gives you a little bit of a lore drop on what he's been doing and where he's been. But yeah, no, he went to the store for milk and didn't come back.
All right, next one.
Denethor from Lord of the Rings.
I have him at F because I had no idea who it was because you didn't give me the
All right, I
right
will give you a little
name.
bit of. I'll give you yeah, I accidentally said Denethor. No, it's
Where'd you
Denethor.
put Revan at again?
I put him at a C. Denethor the Second. He is the steward of Gondor in Lord of the Rings. You okay?
Yeah, okay.
He is the father of Faramir and Boromir. So I put him at F because this man is absolutely delusional. He has some weird "I want to fuck my son" relationship with Boromir. Boromir is like the perfect child. He's like one
I
of the
feel like I
commanders.
remember that from the movies.
Yeah, he's it's if you watch the extended editions, you see a lot more of it. There's a lot more flashbacks of his interactions with Boromir and Faramir.
Slapping
Bor-
cheeks.
he basically perceives that Boromir can't do anything wrong, and Faramir is his younger son. So he looks at Faramir as like you're not anything like your brother. So the minute that he finds out that Boromir's dead, he's like, "Fucking! I have this useless kid." Even though Faramir does everything he can to try to earn the approval of Denethor, and it gets to the point to where he sends Faramir is supposed to protect Osgiliath from the orcs when the orcs are on their way from Mordor to attack Minas Tirith. So they end up losing because they get overwhelmed and have to retreat back to Minas Tirith. And Denethor's like, "No, you should die if you're going to protect a city, and you fail, you need to die at least, right?" So he sends Faramir and his men on a suicide trip to go try to take Osgiliath back, but it's already completely packed with orcs. They get shot down by arrows, and Faramir gets pulled back by his horse back to Minas Tirith, and Denethor thinks Faramir is dead. He's going to do a whole Viking, I guess, suicide because he's going to give him a flame funeral in private, but he's going to kill himself in the process. And thank God, oh my God, my goat Pippin saves him. So he's a little crazy. He has these weird expectations of his kids. He treats Faramir like shit the entire time, and it's very hard to watch. And he gets his just desserts.
All right, we got two left. We both
Okay.
agreed on F.
Yep,
So
for
the
Denethor.
last two. So 13.
So we got Talion from Shadow of War.
I put Talion at
Mordor.
A because I don't know much. I don't know much about him other than that against his wife's wishes, he trained his son to be a soldier. So he gave his son the means to protect himself and protect the family during whatever it is that he left to go do. I don't remember Shadow of Mordor at all.
So they are stationed to live on the Black Gate, which is literally at the border of Mordor, the border of Mordor. And so his son and his wife are there. I don't exactly know why. I don't know if the families have to live with them when they live on the Black Gate, but he's training his son because they're literally there. They are the only thing that is stopping the orcs from leeching off into the rest of Middle Earth. So he's training his son, turning his son into a badass like he is. And when the Black Hand of Sauron and his little cronies break onto the Black Gate and wipe out all of his men and sacrifice his wife and his son in front of him, and then end up sacrificing Talion, he is so pissed off and so angry at what has happened that the spirit of Celebrimbor attaches himself from his sorrow. They have the same mutual, because the same thing happens to Celebrimbor. They latch onto each other as kind of kindred spirits. So this man proceeds after this to have a holy war against the orcs on his own, a 1.5 man army to wipe out every orc as brutally as possible, or Uric, as possible for 60 fucking years. This man holds all the armies of Mordor at the Black Gate by himself for 60 years just so he can die. He's like, I'm going to do everything I can to protect my people, and I will, just because he can't die. He's like, I can't die, so what else am I going to do? I'm going to fucking with the armies of Mordor. And then all just so he can die and finally be with his family in the afterlife.
So another Kratos.
Basically. But he ends up with his original family by the end of the game in the afterlife. It's actually a really, really touching scene. He ends up losing Celebrimbor in Shadow of War and ends up fighting the I think it's a Isildur. It's actually the Ringwraith version of Isildur. Kills him, gets his ring of power, so he's literally on his own at this point at the whole 60 years that he protects all of Middle Earth. He is on his own. He basically sacrifices himself to become a Ringwraith himself so that he can have the powers to protect everybody for 60 years and literally just wages war on his own. So I put him at a fucking S. This man is who I would aspire to be if someone wiped out my family in front of me. I would want to wage a holy war on everybody that was involved.
Sorry, David's asking me for help.
That's okay. We are on our Wait, who would you put Talion as?
I put him at A.
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't know of him. I've played a little bit of Shadow of Mordor, and then I believe I remember him from the movie. I think he was in the movie.
Bro, no, he's not. He's not in the movies at all. This is one medium where it does that right. We were talking about earlier of they made their in a whole new thing. It's actually technically not canon because of how absurd the powers are in the game. But and
it's a fun as fuck game.
It is so fucking fun.
I just never beat it. My mom beat it on PC.
I would say you need to do a video on Shadow of War. You need to do your video in like one of your games that you play. Okay, so we have our last person, our last father. And I don't know I know you're playing through Elden Ring right now. I don't know if you're going to know all the lore of this guy, and I'm not going to dip too deep cuz we've been going so long. But we have Godfrey. One of the main squeezes of America.
Yeah, the Lord of Battle, Godfrey.
So this man,
father of Margot and
Morgo.
Did I say the name wrong, or are you just correct?
Or no, Morgot and Moog. My bad.
Yeah.
And this man was just a warrior. He was living life, slaying it on the battlefield.
He had loyalties to America, which made him distant, even though his children were banished and everything.
Because they were omens.
He still cared for his kids, and he even shows Margot sadness, like in the scene where you see him with him. So he cared. He wasn't a shitty father. As far as Elden Ring characters go, he wasn't the shittiest. He had loyalties as a lord, which outweighed his responsibilities as a father.
Yeah, and it ended up getting to the point to where America was like, you know what, just go. I'm done with you. Just go. And he's like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll go die up in the hills. I put him at a D. I put him at a D just because he didn't really fight for his kids too much. He could have fought more, but it would have
just caused issues with America.
Yeah.
And
he was too much of a simp really to.
If you can't put it at D because I took away my D vote and changed it to a C, what did you put yours at?
I'll change him and put him to a C.
Awesome. So across all 14 of your characters, we only agreed on 6, 9, and 12, which was Booker DeWitt, not Booker DeWitt. We agreed on Anakin Skywalker, Handsome Jack, and Denethor.
And you didn't even know who Denethor was until I explained it to him, but he deserves the F.
I'm just that good at lists. Well, I did a quick scan before the podcast. I've had a lot going on, and then some of these characters I knew, some of them from different mediums than you, but
yeah, I know I did a lot of lore dropping. That was mostly for the audience. Apologize if they were too long. How was it, Tim? For off the top of my head, throwing out lore.
Great.
I have no notes. I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably not. It's literally just the names of the characters.
I think with all that being said, though, we should end the episode here as we are approaching 2.5, maybe 3 hours.
Be a long one, buddy.
This has been a blast. I had a lot of fun having 2 actual discussions. It felt really
we
good.
had a lot to talk about.
I feel like, unfortunately, we went way over on mine because we just ended up arguing. But I feel like I feel like that was most of the fun in my topic was just having someone to rally off and banter with, even though it literally just fueled in me going, "You're sexist. You just hate Bella Ramsey."
I'm not sexist. She's just ugly.
So hateful.
No, it's good conversation.
Yeah, it was a good conversation piece, and I had a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you next week. Whenever day that is, because this is gonna
Saturday. We're doing this a Saturday night. I think exactly 1 week from now will be good for us to record the next one.
So yeah, this is gonna come out on the 15th. So next Saturday would be the 18th, and then that one would come out the 22nd.
Okay.
So yeah, we're good. We have a schedule, guys. You hear that? We have a schedule. We have plans. We're planning episodes. Do we know what we're going to talk about? Absolutely not.
Hell no.
But we'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much for listening to this on any of your podcast streaming services. If you guys caught the vidcast version, thank you for watching us as I sat here and almost blew my brains out on some of the lore depths that Brad was going way too deep into. No, I'm kidding. He did a very good job, and I'm proud of him. We will catch you guys in the next one. The in-screen annotations on the vidcast version will take you to stuff that me and WhiskeyNBri have done together, as well as my other podcast, the RnRPodcast. I don't want to say we'll see you guys again next week for the 4th time, but yeah, we'll see you guys again next week. Toodaloo, everybody.